Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna give you an introduction to arrays in TypeScript. So arrays are basically sequential memory blocks and we can't resize these arrays. So for example, in memory, if you want to keep this 1 2 3 4 numbers in a sequential blocks, then you can keep them in an array. So once you have initialized it, its size is 4 1 2 3 4, so you can't change the size again, and it uses indexes for accessing one item in an array. So we need to use index, and index starts from 0. So for the first one the index is 0, for the second one 1, and like that. So the last index of an array is the length of the array minus 1. Okay, so if you know JavaScript, then you might have used arrays before, and the initialization process is almost similar to JavaScript. Suppose I'm creating one number array, num array, and I can give the numbers as the elements of this array here, and so it will create this number array. Now let me print the value of this array here using one console.log. Then you can see that it's printing the values. So in TypeScript we can define the array type. So if you don't do this, don't define the type, then the typecasting of array will assume automatically that this num array is of type number array. Okay, so if you do this, then the compiler will take this as number arrays. Now if you want to give any other values to this array, suppose if you want to give one string array to this, then you can do this. So it says that the type string is not assignable to type number, or alternatively we can write it as number array. This is actually helpful if you are using one separate function. So suppose I am creating one function to print the array, and here I'm getting the array, and I can define the type of this array that I am receiving as the parameter for this function. So here I am printing this array, and if I call this function from any place, then I need to pass one integer array, otherwise it will throw me one compile time error. Suppose let me change it to character, then you can see that it's throwing me one compiler error. Now the type of this array is string or number array. So these types of arrays we can define like this: string or number array. So its values can be string or number. So here we can write that we are accepting only string or number array type. So now it will work, and it will print that value of this array. Okay, so to access any elements or any members of an array, we can use the index. So suppose it is number array, and we can use the index that starts from 0. So console.log, if I use it as 0, then it will print the first element of this array. So here you can see that it's printing 1. So if I try to print any other elements, then you can see that it's printing undefined, because we don't have any element with index 5. Arrays, we can change the any member of an array. So for that we need to use this index. Suppose I want to change the 4 to -4. So the index of this 4 is 2. So here I can say that 2, I am changing it to -4, and let me print it again. Then you can see that it changes this to -4. There is one more concept, it's called array destruction. So we can't get the values of this array is like this. It's called array destruction. So x will hold the first element, y will hold the second element, and z will hold the third element. So let me print them, x, and let me print it as y, and the third one is z. Now if I save it, then you can see that 1 to 4 first, second, and third elements are printed here. We can also initialize one array using array constructor. So for that we need to use array, and here we can pass the length of the array. So if I pass it as 4, then if I print the length of this array, you can see that it printed 4. Similarly, I can also pass the initial values of the array like 1, 2, 3, 4, and here if I print the second element, then it will print 3. It's not second element, it's at index 2, that is the third element. We can also use any other array operations in TypeScript. So it supports all the array operations that we use in JavaScript. So for example, we can use for each, and here I can iterate over all the elements of this array. So if I print the value of this e, then you can see that it's printing all the values of this array. So that's all for now. So I hope that you learned how we can use array in TypeScript, and if you have any question, please drop one comment below, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Thanks. Bye.